Hey everyone, welcome to Aging Well in KC, where we want to change the narrative on aging in Kansas City. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Brian, and together we own and operate Seniors Helping Seniors KC North.
And I'm JC, owner of Seniors Helping Seniors KC Metro South. Together, we want to have real conversations about aging and share our insights to help Kansas City age well.
So welcome today to our Aging Well in KC, and today we have a guest, Anne Kinney. She is our Program and Resource Coordinator here in Clay County. And Anne, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah. So let's start basics for our listeners who are not familiar with Clay County Senior Services at all. What's your organization do?
So we've been around since 2004. And we are kind of the hub of resources for adults 60 and older in Clay County.
Awesome.
We are funded by senior levy. We're governed by a board of 7 who are appointed by the Clay County Commissioners.
Awesome. And is this a service that anyone in Clay County can use if you're over that age? Or
Absolutely. You can be over 60 or caring for, loving, supporting, or just knowing somebody who falls within the 60 and older age.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is there a place that those individuals that fall into that category would need to go to register or anything like that for the services?
The cool thing is you can come into our office, but I would say probably 99% of the people just call our office.
Okay.
And it's wonderful. There's only 4 of us in the office. I'm probably going to be the one that, if you need more than just a phone number or something, that you'll end up speaking to.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And then we'll just talk about what the needs of the caller are and go from there.
Awesome. So what are kind of the variety of things, services, support that we can get from?
Absolutely. Gosh, we've got so many. I actually took notes. I hope that's okay.
Of course,
Absolutely.
We have a lot of services for family members who are supporting an older adult, ranging from adults. We don't provide any of the services directly.
Okay.
We have many contractors that we work with, ranging from adult day programs or respite. Oftentimes, individuals will need minor home repairs and modifications so that our loved ones are able to stay as safe in their home as possible for as long as they're able to. Some in-home support, and that could be anything from linking them with private caregivers. If an individual has veterans services, Medicaid, we have a limited in-home care support program at Clay County. Unfortunately, there's a pretty significant wait list because everybody's needing assistance. But as I say, there's always something that we can do or somewhere that we can refer. Personal emergency response systems, a lot of people call them, the life alert things.
That's awesome.
And so those are a wonderful resource for anybody who is wanting to stay in their home or stay active in their community. They're super easy to get. Clay County pays for a portion of them.
Okay.
And basically you can program them with loved ones in there, and also just 911. So if worst case scenario, we never want to think something bad is going to happen, but worst case scenario, if you're in a medical crisis or a fall, we talk a lot about falls and falls prevention. That's a great way to help continue independence. Let's see, we offer transportation services.
Okay.
Giving up keys can be difficult, and sometimes even if our loved ones continue to drive, they still, they might not be comfortable going to a doctor's appointment that might be 40, 50 miles away. We can do that. Meals on Wheels, life enrichment. We support senior centers, exercise and recreation programs. You name it, we do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's the
awesome.
best job ever.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
That's so cool. What would you say in your current role are the most common needs that when the phone rings? What is the most common need they have? And then, kind of to piggyback on that, what are some of the struggles that you run into?
Yes. The most common need is just, I think it's someone, first of all, it's just someone to listen to who understands, and kind of a safe person that, you know, you can say, I can't say this, you know, to my parents, but I'm really, really worried.
Yep.
You know, what can you tell me is available? Sometimes just having an ear to listen, to know that there are services out there and somebody who is going to be there to listen to you. Like we were talking about earlier, we might not have every perfect answer all the time, but we have somebody who can listen, who can offer resources. Unless you know that you need them, you don't know what's out there.
Right.
And so, you know, I like to first just have the callers understand, you know, that we're here and we're going to listen to them. And, you know, oftentimes one of the first things that they'll ask for is, you know, my parents need help with bathing, or someone coming in, you know, to help clean, all those kind of wonderful things that you guys know about very, very well.
Yeah.
And there are fantastic services out there. Sometimes there are very limited financial resources to go around. So, you know, we'll talk about what are some of the options with the in-home care. Along with that, what are some other things that we can do to help a parent or a loved one stay safe in the home? And, you know, that might be when we talk about transportation or the personal emergency response systems, Meals on Wheels, minor home repairs, just all of those things. All of those little things are part of the overall puzzle. And I think just knowing that there's a place that you can call where people, you know, are going to listen. We might not have all of the answers, but if we don't have the answer, we're gonna do our best to help you find it.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can elaborate on? You mentioned transportation a few times now.
Yeah.
And just talk a little bit more in detail about that. You know, we're on the south side of Kansas City, and it's a
Yes.
huge need. And the south side, I think, is just a huge need overall.
Absolutely.
So when people are looking for that transportation, what does that look like?
It can be anything from, you know, we don't drive, we have nobody, you know, no neighbors, no family, or, you know, my spouse just was released from a rehab facility. They're in a wheelchair. I can't pick up the wheelchair. I can't get them in and out. So thankfully, I'm not as well versed as the resources available on the south side of Kansas City. But here in the Northland, we are very lucky. We contract with an agency called Secured Transport, and we're able to offer 3 round-trip rides. They're typically medically based rides a month. $7 each way if the person, if the consumer doesn't need a wheelchair. If they need a wheelchair, it's $10 each way. But when you compare that to some of the other costs that we've seen, you know, it can be $70 to $100+ just for a one-way trip. So, I mean, until you don't have transportation, or until there's the need for it, you don't even realize what a lifeline it is. I think most of us just take it for granted until we have a hiccup.
Well, and take those, I have to follow back up with my doctor, or I just
Yes.
had this surgery and now I need to go back to make sure I'm on pace with the plan. And if I miss all of those appointments, then that really sets me back. And so getting them to these appointments is crucial.
It can be a setback. It can lead to a financial hardship because most, you know, doctors, agencies, they give you a 24-hour window of cancellation, and sometimes life happens.
Sure.
And you just don't know.
Yeah.
So that's one of the great Lifeline programs. There's some other kind of secondary transportation programs in Kansas City, in the Northland that are wonderful, but Secured is the most inclusive, and they will take the resident, within a 50-mile radius. So
Awesome.
it's great.
Will they help them if they are wheelchair bound or have mobility needs, mobility support needs? Will they kind of assist them in and out as well to help with that process?
Yes, and I'm still learning a little bit
Yeah.
about it. I believe if there's more than 2 or 3 stairs, on the exterior of the house, then they might have to call for like fire department assistance.
Okay.
But beyond that, if it's just a couple little stairs, then the drivers and the staff are absolutely wonderful. I get calls of relief, and some people have actually called, crying tears of joy and relief. So
Well, I don't think there's anything worse than feeling stuck.
Yeah.
yes,
That I can't get the care that I need or do these things that I need. So
Absolutely.
Well, and for some of our clients and just seniors in our community, there's programs that they're participating in where it requires them to get out, VA specific, right? So
Yes.
within the VA, they have to meet certain requirements and go see their primary care and follow
Yep.
up to be able to stay included in those programs. So if they can't
Absolutely.
leave or don't have the possibility or the opportunity for
Right.
transportation, then it ends up affecting more than just that visit.
Yes.
So.
And it seems like things are always changing. So it's
Yeah.
It's a huge need, so appreciate you going into a
Yeah.
little more detail about
Oh,
that.
thanks. Absolutely.
We talk about oftentimes the one constant in seniors' life is change.
Yes.
That seems to be the one constant, right? Whether it's losing a loved one, a spouse, losing their close family circle or friend circle, their church group, their home, whatever it is, that's the one constant in their life is change.
And so much of that change revolves around grief.
Absolutely. So when we talk about just resources available, knowing that the mindset typically when they're calling, right, is I don't know what I need, but I know I need something. I know I need help of some
Kinda like
kind.
crisis
Yeah,
mode.
Yes,
typically it's more of a
absolutely.
crisis situation, and we get a lot of that on our part as well, as seniors helping seniors. So, from your perspective, there's a lot of resources. Where's a good place to start? What's helpful for families as this crisis mode starts? What's first steps, next steps? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of resources available, but I feel like a lot of the families in our community don't know the resources that are out there.
Absolutely. And like we said, you don't know until you need to know.
Yeah.
And even then, it can feel just insurmountable to navigate. I'll often kind of start off just utilizing a little bit of my mental health background, asking the caller, okay, if you could have one wish fulfilled today, if we could help you with, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when, I need help? Okay, what would that look like in this moment?
Sure.
So, defining that a little bit. Before they call us, we have a wonderful, incredibly inclusive website. It's just claycoseniors.org.
Okay.
And it basically lists every resource, every support, different agencies, things like that. Now, it's a great resource, but we also know that technology for everybody can be a bit of a challenge, and especially, as we age.
Sure.
So that can be a barrier. So I say, just call us. I mean, that's what I'm there for. And tell me what is the main thing that you're looking for today. What you need today might be different from tomorrow. So there's no limit to the amount of times that you can call us.
Sure. I love that point because I think a lot of our families, they're kind of tunnel vision, but they see it. It's such a wide, all of these things I have to take care of.
Right.
And so
And
I
it's
just don't
overwhelming.
know
It can be
where to go.
overwhelming.
I don't know what to do. And they don't have to have those answers all figured out.
No, it's a walk. It's not, it's not a marathon.
Right.
And I would say for those who are calling, if it's either, the individual needing care themselves or more times, a loved one, a concerned neighbor, talking to them about not only, what are the services, the basic needs type services. But there are so many other great resources out there. Support groups for caregivers, or grief and transitions groups for those of us who are going through it.
Right.
Because we're a safe space to call, but there are so many other great organizations and resources in the community.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I know probably JC, you too, but everybody we come in contact who has anything to do with the community, they just want to help.
That's
in
right.
our
Yeah.
area. They just
Yeah.
they just want to be helpful, and I know that's the same for you down there too.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
Yep, that's why we do what we do.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Speaking of that, sorry, I don't mean to take this over. I apologize.
That's
Go
okay,
ahead.
Brian. That's all right.
I just, you have a very deep background related to caring for seniors. And I know just from speaking to you in the past and working with you a little bit, your deep passion for helping seniors. So I think it's important that everybody that watches this knows how involved and how just all in you are with helping seniors. So I don't know what my question is, other than if you could just touch upon that a little bit about really kind of your background and why you do what you do.
Absolutely. So anybody who has heard me speak before has heard me talk about my love for my in-laws. They're my late husband's parents. And we just take care of each other. My late husband passed away 13 years ago when my kids were 6 and 11, and they stepped in and helped as caregivers. Some of the most fulfilling and meaningful support that I've provided has been to grandfamilies who have helped to raise grandchildren, because they stepped in and helped me when my children were very young. So even though I was widowed, I never felt like, you're typical, if there is such a thing, and there really isn't, but I never felt like I had nobody else because I had them. As they aged, my father-in-law, probably about 10 years ago, was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and that was rough. That was really, really rough. So not only were we caring for my young children, including, I have a daughter with some pretty significant developmental disabilities and differences, but caring, making sure that my father-in-law was doing as well as he could do, assisting with, sorting of meds, taking them to doctor's offices because they weren't comfortable driving, having that second set of ears, linking to support groups, helping to facilitate some of those conversations with family who didn't live in state, but also needed that information. And then my own father passed away 2 years ago from vascular dementia. So, and my sister was his primary caregiver because they were in Lincoln, or still, my sister is still in Lincoln. So, it's, caregiving is a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It is.
I think it's important for those of you watching to just know what an amazing resource we have in Clay County. So I think
thank you.
having that background is just helpful, just so everyone's aware who's watching this of
Well, and I think
what
the-
resources are here.
Thank
The
you.
more people that understand that we might not have all walked the exact same story, us that are helping, we want to help people, we want to
Yes.
help our community. It's for a reason. We have a why, and it's usually because someone loved us and took care of us, and we want to do the same because it's what you're supposed to do. You're raised to take care of your elders and watch out for mom and take care of your siblings, and
It's what we're called to do.
we're called to be that way.
Yeah.
And then I think just our culture says isolate and you don't need anybody, but you do. You need people, especially in those moments when it's hard. And I just want to realize that you can't maybe fix these problems for me, but someone's here and they want to help.
There's someone with you know, to share that space, to hold that space with you, that you know, okay, this is, you know, this is something that isn't necessarily going anywhere, but these are the people that can sit with me through it, that I know I can call. I think one of the most isolating things that I've experienced as a caregiver and in my years working with caregivers is just, you know, feeling alone and hopeless and not knowing who to call or what to do. And even when we know so many resources, it's still the hardest thing to, you know, to access things. So just, you know, just sharing that they're not alone. And I've heard the same thing from a lot of the seniors that I've worked with, not only in locating those basic needs resources, but when I've gone into senior centers and senior living communities, and everybody just needs to feel heard and connected and to know that we matter.
Be treated with
Isolation is
dignity.
deadly.
And be treated with dignity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So for someone maybe listening today that just feels really overwhelmed trying to navigate this, what would be, kind of with all your experience and all of your knowledge, what would be the advice that you would give them?
Breathe,
Breathe.
which is not always easy, but breathe. Think about the one or two things that are the most important to you right now and tackle those. And share that with somebody. When I was at with a former agency, I facilitated several support groups. And one of the things that we always did at the beginning of the support group was a basic community meeting. And you would, you know, introduce yourself, give a word to describe how you were feeling, maybe one or two simple goals or just tasks that you were hoping to accomplish that day, and then someone who can help you. And that someone who can help you doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, a caregiver or a person from an agency or someone physically doing that with you, but someone to just check in with. That makes a huge difference.
Right.
So, you know, there's so much power in connection.
Absolutely. Yep. I love that. Yeah. I mean, even with our families that we're working with right now, just sometimes I personally will get overwhelmed with the things that I need to do or where we need to step in, and I can't conquer Rome in a day, right? I have to just, what can I accomplish today? And it might be just that transportation to the doctor's appointment tomorrow, and then next week I'll have to start all over. But just doing the little climb versus, like you said, the marathon and trying to accomplish it.
And I always talk about either if it's a caller or with support group individuals, 100% on any given day is going to look different. You know, there are some days where you might be rested and things have, you know, you just feel like a superhero and like, oh, I can do it. I can do everything. I can do it all. I'm a rock star. And those days are great. And then there might be some rough patches, either professionally, personally, oftentimes both. And maybe 20-30% is your 100% for that day. You have got to let yourself acknowledge that and accept that. I always say, you know, we treat other people with more kindness than we treat ourselves. So when you're out there and you're looking for the resources, you can't forget about either the caregiver or what you need as the person searching for yourself.
Yeah, that's so good. Absolutely.
That's great.
You have an incredible story, and really just appreciate you
Thank you.
being here today and sharing it with us.
It's led me to what I get to do now, and I've done some wonderful things in my career and in my life, but I feel like I've won the lottery with what I get to do and the community partners that I get to work with
love that.
and the callers and, our team.
So that does lead me to a question. So is
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
something that's just specific to Clay County, or is this kind of service available all over? Do more counties have
Yep.
these kind of resources?
Platte County also has the Platte County Senior Fund, and our Platte County Senior Fund is our sister organization,
Okay.
and they are fantastic as well. Their leadership, their programs, their services. They offer many of the same services
Okay.
that we do, and yeah, they have the transportation, the caregiving, the Meals on Wheels, all of that. Within this last year, Jackson County just organized their own senior fund. I think that's still in the works. Unfortunately, I don't think every single community has what we have. If any of the listeners are curious about what's available to them in the Northland or beyond, I would suggest to contact your local area agency on aging, and within the Kansas City area, that would be the Mid-America Regional Council.
Awesome. And just see what's available, because
Yeah,
it could be a few of these resources or
Yes.
the whole gamut. I mean, who knows?
You never know, and it's, just like technology, resources are always changing, and there are just so many great community partners that we are so fortunate to get to work with. So,
Yeah.
think about what you need, and then if you have questions, call me.
You heard it. Pick up the phone and call it.
So if you could encourage a family that needs to have a conversation, maybe they're not quite to this crisis mode, but
Yes.
they are kind of seeing the future unfold a little bit. What would be like that very first conversation to start having? What would you recommend, just kind of with your background and experience?
First of all, if it's a child, another family member, someone like that, just think about how would you want to be approached in that situation. Our parents and our elders are very proud. Many of them, I think of my parents and my in-laws. They came from a time where it's just you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and that's and that's a wonderful way, and independence. But we need more than that. But think about, okay, when it's my turn to have this conversation, because we're all going to be the recipients of this conversation.
Yeah.
How would I want somebody to discuss with me about these things? And then, call an agency like ours, or go online and look and see what other community agencies are available. There are so many that can kind of help guide you. Talk with a trusted friend, or community leader, mental health individual, clergy person.
Sure.
Just anybody who you trust, and do it in a time where you are able to be relaxed, or as relaxed as you can be, because these conversations are never easy. There are some resources out there. There's a program called the 5 Wishes. When you guys were kind and lovely enough to come when we were facilitating the Aging Mastery program a while ago, and within that, we talked about, what are your wishes? And these are just, some of the things to think about.
Yeah.
And if anybody wants more information about this, I can get it for you.
Absolutely.
But think about, what are your 5 wishes? The person I want to make care decisions for me when I can't, who would that be? Sometimes it might not be the person either our spouse or the person closest to us, because we might need somebody that can have, maybe a little more strength, or to just make those tough decisions.
Sure.
The kind of medical treatment I want or don't want. How comfortable do I want to be? Do I want, just, not just, but, more comfort care, or do I want all of the other things to help extend my life? How do I want people to treat me? I've known people who have said, I know my time is limited. I want to live in the moment for as long as I can, and then I want hospice to come in and help me exit as peacefully as possible. What do I want my loved ones to know? And then I think the most important thing for those we care for and for ourselves is make sure that all of your documents, final wishes, things that are updated, wills, trusts, any changes that need to be made, passwords, hopes and dreams for what a celebration of life would look like. Just all of those things. That's the best gift that we can leave for others, or that others can leave for us.
Yeah, so just really finding out what they want.
Yeah.
Even though that's a really hard conversation, and one that, I didn't want to have with my dad. I didn't want to have that
Absolutely.
conversation, but I'm so glad I did, because it has helped since he's passed, and we've been helping with my mom and helping the family things. It takes that weight off your shoulders, because this isn't my life. This is what they wanted. I'm just helping make it come true.
Yes.
So
Absolutely. I think when all is said and done, anything that we can do to feel like, what, I did the best that I knew how to do. No regrets.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Anne, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing about your program and the resources here in Clay County, and I think just giving us even more to build on, because that's the point. That's what we want to do, is just continue to build and show the community what's out there. So something fun I want to do, but I've kind of tweaked it a little bit. So the guys are going to look at me going, what are you talking about, Lauren? But I want us just to say, what's the best thing about working with seniors? I want us all to this week, if it's something this week, or just what's a highlight in this field? What's for you?
They are so appreciative of just having somebody to speak with. And honestly, sometimes we'll have a conversation and they will just say something that is either so wise or so funny or so beautiful. Every day I end up with tears of laughter and, maybe an occasional, tear of an emotion. But every day I am so thankful that I get to come and do what I do. And, you get your people who call on occasion, and you just get excited if you hear, a certain voice and whatnot.
Sure.
And it's the best. It's just, I love it.
Yeah. JC, what about you?
I don't know how you can
know.
say
Let's
something
just
different than that. I mean,
adding.
yeah, I mean, it's the rewarding experience that we have in giving back to the seniors, and I mean, it's their life experience, right? And just how they make us feel for the difference that we make in their lives. And so that is really cool. And then, I mean, the other piece is that our caregivers are seniors themselves, and the difference that they feel that they're making for our clients. And so it just kind of goes all the way around.
I love that peer-to-peer relationship.
It is awesome, and it's such a rewarding experience each and every day.
We just need meaning.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're so blessed at the end of the day to get to do what we do. And get to support seniors every day. I mean, you talk about pinch me moments. Every day is an awesome day.
I
Yeah.
I love those little windows that we get to see a little bit more about who they really are. I've had a couple clients that they'll start singing for me just out of nowhere, or they'll tell a joke, or they just have just a little something about their personality, and it just makes it full circle for us, and it's just it just warms my heart.
Those sparks.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Independent of what everyone else said, because it's 100% true and all aligned with what we do. I love the calls when initially the family is in stress mode, is in dare I say desperation mode. I don't know what to do, Mom. This is the situation. And then, it happened last week. You get a call and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you were right. Thank you so much.
Yes.
She's thriving. We're all in a good place." Like those are the goosebump moments where that just, you talk about your why and why we do this.
Absolutely.
Those are the moments that I cherish. I just cherish those moments because we really, we're lucky enough to serve seniors and families in our community and hopefully be impactful. And that's the goal at the end of the day.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
Yes, we are.
That's right.
Yeah. Yep.
Well-
Helping as best we can.
Yeah, for sure. So for those of you interested in learning more resources related specifically to Clay County, Anne is an amazing resource. Do you want to plug anything? Any websites, emails, whatever you're comfortable sharing so
Okay,
people can get a
yes.
hold of you?
ClaycoSeniors.org, that is our website. It's very inclusive. Give us a call at 816-455-4800. And chances are that you'll end up speaking to me or if not me, then all of our other wonderful teammates there. I mean, we absolutely love what we do. And don't be afraid to call. If anything, to just kind of tie a bow on it, don't be afraid to call us. And don't be afraid to have the tough conversations. We need to have those tough conversations in order to be the best advocates for ourselves and for those that we love. And that's what we're there for.
It's great advice.
So,
Great
Absolutely.
advice.
Thank you so much.
thank you guys.
Of course.
Thank
It's been
you very
amazing.
much.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Okay.